Alright, so this is going to be another game of Warno, and again, somewhat old, but they're not changing a whole lot patch to patch. And this is going to be played with big booms, as in I'm taking out the biggest Soviet artillery, and that was the entirety of my goal for this game. So I'm going to be playing sort of on the left-ish here, pushing towards um, the town that I have pinged, and we're going to be starting shortly here. So when I get the big boys, the Malkas, they'll be overlaid where the map currently is, and otherwise I'm gonna have gonna be following two infantry squads, and those will be on the bottom right side. You can see, I think one of them is already up, the other will be adding in shortly. And I'm mostly doing that to give context to the artillery strikes that I'm doing. I mean, I'll be doing a fair bit of counter battery because that's usually what I do with the artillery. But when I'm not doing counter battery, I'll also be doing like fire support. So I usually prioritize counter battery, but I do a fair bit of support fire as well. So anyways, here we go. Yeah. I'll also get a little bit too focused maybe on the artillery in this game. Not like terrible, and then also my big focus on infantry made me a little slow, but that'll happen when it happens, and I'll work around it eventually. Anyways, moving up, and these guys are going to get a terrifying ride to the front because there's going to be an enemy artillery strike on the road coming in. So it was timed pretty well, actually. You can see it coming in from afar. So close call there for my mini infantry. I've got Spetsnaz already in the trees surrounding the town, so I can hopefully see if anything else is coming in. I mean, it's a safe bet someone's going to be going for this town at least a little bit, so I'm going to start throwing people in. That's why I did this kind of tiered deployment where I have some people further back, especially my more fragile anti-aircraft dudes who maybe can't even hit anything anyways, but, you know, they're there at least for deterrence and damage, if not outright kills. And then I deployed successively further and further forward. So actually managed to get through the town pretty well. I'm wondering if maybe they hoped that the artillery would be more disruptive than it was, but it didn't actually have any effect, except for some cinematic coolness. So yeah, got the town, more or less, and stuff is going to start heating up shortly. We did have a teammate who was focusing entirely on artillery almost. They started bringing other stuff later, so I guess that was an improvement over what it looked like they would be doing or solely focusing on. So not as bad as it could have been. Yeah. Now we can see my opponent is starting to filter some units in, but I've got a pretty good foothold in this town. I think at this point it'd be pretty difficult to dislodge me. I should have some tanks coming in. Am I... Oh yeah, there they are. My transport units are taking a very risky exit route. They could have just gone straight back, but no, they have to go through where the fighting is. Yeah, so they've got a bunch of vehicles parked out ahead of us, and they're starting to come in. I didn't actually have quite as much infantry in the town as maybe would have been super helpful. I got a little bit distracted, And then I'm going to start moving them up slowly. And I'm kind of intentionally, also sort of inadvertently saving up for the big guns. They've got about, I want to say 5 more minutes before they come in. Looks like 5 minutes, yeah. And we've got our first contact, and we're going to get lit up by those APCs that they've got outside. And I've got units parked out to the left there too, to kind of forestall any reinforcements coming in. I've got some lighter artillery coming in from team 8. And I've got the helicopter-borne infantry. I think maybe they were hoping I wouldn't have as much in the town, and so they stopped pushing them up. I also maybe didn't have quite as much in the town as they wanted. And my tanks are in danger. That side's a little bit covered up by the close-up shots. Overall, the right side wasn't too much my concern. I mean, there were a lot of people playing there, so I wasn't really looking too closely to that side, since I'm the only one in this town, and it's not directly useful for capture points, obviously, but it is a strategic part of the map. Kind of like the middle city in the cities. It's interesting to hold because it doesn't have any immediately tangible benefits, but it is useful. Okay, so my tanks have reached their firing positions now, so we can do some support. Tank as well. And now they're going to shell the city. But I've actually moved up to face them more, so I don't really have anything in the center, which is mostly where they're hitting. I guess we're taking a little bit of splash damage. Yeah, quite a bit more there. But we will take out the Abrams. And here we go. Those are the Malkas. So they've got a couple more minutes before they actually fire. And then I saved up even more points by accident. So I'm going to bring in some of the smaller guns as well. And it's kind of cooled off. I think my squad's got somewhat damaged, and they so I pulled them off. I need supply, which is going to be a little bit slow in coming, but I have more infantry dudes I can push up, like this group that we can see at the very bottom. They're going to run through the fire and be totally unfazed, and that's NATO squad that's pushed up is going to not have a fun time. I wanted my guys to have some time to recuperate, but I figured it'd be better to catch them while they're outside. So we're just gonna run up. Mortaring the center of the town again, so I don't really care. I would barely care about the mortars anyways, because they're so small. But the enemy's got a nice tank parked out there, just chilling, so that is going to be my first. You can see it through the crack actually right there by the score. That's going to be either my first or my second target, I can't remember. see shortly. If I shell the remains of the infantry, they've got that little toehold on the very top edge of the town. And... or maybe I'll use the small ones? Okay, there we go. Lining up the big boys. And all my infantry's getting resupplied. Too, I think. And here we go. Gonna do following shots. I think actually my teammates slowed down, which, I mean, fine, whatever. Good that the tank is dead, but I would have annihilated it otherwise. I think that was throwing off my kill count towards the end, or at the end screens. Wondering which tanks I did and didn't kill. That one I did not kill. Tiny little artillery shell took it from me. But we've got this center town, and I was, well, for the most part, I believe I'm going to push out to the very edge. That was a pretty, not like the other said before. They are pushing here. They are pushing hard to these other zones, which, I mean, initially there were a lot of hard team there. I don't know what happened. They pushed up, got annihilated, and then took a while to reinforce. But it's pretty lightly defended, so I'm gonna call reinforcements into the town. They don't have a ton of points left. And also at this time, I came back into contact. Yeah, but if they occupy buildings in the town, then there's like shell that will happen, that sort of thing. That's what's gonna happen. There's my reinforcements being called in, and here is what's going on in my town. And also the huge explosions I'm unleashing on the opposite. Unless that squad is, or that vehicle. I mean, they're not all gonna hit. I just have to keep on firing away. And the new target is going to be this thing, which I'm pretty sure is the one that keeps on attacking me. So line up the big guns on it. It's good that I caught it in the very beginning of firing its salvo, because that'll be most of the time shoot at it before the enemy can move it with me. Well, we've been guessing barely any dead time, so it's just finished firing. I'm already returning fire. So any near hit will damage the cohesion. On the other hand, I'm pushing out to the edge. Got a hit and gone. And everybody else was angry at it too. So those guys were extremely dead. these really damaged units are not going to be doing very well. Yeah, that's my smaller guns. Okay, so they've dismounted that troop, which is actually going to make them, well, I guess a mix of more susceptible and more protected. And they'll get one shot if the transport goes down, but they'll be more hittable. And I'm going to go ahead and try to finish this unit off. And already firing again with the big guns. Just over the town. There we go. And yeah, it's kind of hard to actually fire in the HUD off mode, find where the Malkas were, because you have to like traverse the whole map, find an identical field. Most of the time I have, not always. And then, yeah, on the left side, we've got the NATO side pushing up. Those smokes being dropped there had me a little bit concerned too, that I was going to get attacked. But nothing really came. I'm not really sure why they did that. I don't know if they were concerned I was going to push out, but then I kind of wanted to focus a little bit more on making sure we could hold this town. Oh, I guess I am decapping the center there. Either I am or I'm standing right next to someone who is, but that's at least some contribution. Yeah, I don't think that's... I just have to read. But they're actually pushing up just enough stuff to continuously distract me. So otherwise I could have been pushing right or left, and it's going to take me a little while to realize that before we eventually move. Cluster strikes on the field. Very exciting. Or no, that is my command unit. I'm watching a playback on low resolution to record this, so that because I'm using my laptop. So, anyways, not super important. That strike might be a little bit more important, and also this forest full of enemy units. It is getting struck at least a little bit. I guess try to hit that tank first. Oh, in the bottom panel, I've changed over to the foot-driven artillery now. Forgot about that. Yeah. Since things have quieted down in my little town, I'm just gonna... Those three pieces that I just highlighted, that's what's going to be on the bottom panel, at least until my ground forces get into action again. There the guys are, pushing them forward through the fields. So they're a little bit harder to hit. there, so I will oblige. Do not want to be stationed in the forest. And one thing that the other team was doing over the course of this game, which I only found out through this replay, there I am looking at it. Well, they had tons of units behind that forest. They were just sitting there, so I don't think we were ever really going to push through them. If they had actually used them all, they would have been able to push deeper into our side, but they kind of just sat there as a reserve. For whatever reason. You can kind of see some of the things, but definitely not all of them. On the live recording. And tank gone. Ouch. Yeah, so the reinforcement route that some of my units were taking was a little bit on the suicidal side. So I figured I'd maybe bring up some anti-air stuff to put a stop to that. I've got guys still sitting in this town. Artillery friend left. Yeah, so I mean they've got stuff around me. They actually didn't do a whole. Oh, and on the bottom panel there again. Huge concentration of forces with the no fog of war benefit of the replays. And I'll be uploading, I think, the panel that has the big guns as its own video, but not the big guns will focus here. And yeah, it's probably some extra reinforcements just to help hold this town. It's weird also that they're not pushing for this little oval that we have in the bottom right corner here. Nuke to those transports though. And then looking over at the left, I'm thinking, there's some tree lines I can follow to get into that capture zone. So we'll start building up forces to move over that way. I've been trying to make a video with small guns too, but I haven't really, I haven't played in about a month, first of all, for the holidays, and then I haven't got any maps that have been very conducive to it. What I really want is either Crown or Iron Waters, but nobody seems to want to play those lately, at least in the times we're on. Okay, so we got my infantry back on the bottom tab. And they're going to be moving out to the left because the enemy's only got a +2 Tank annihilated. So I did manage to get several Abrams kills. There they are. Yes, we're gonna go buy that supply and get to that, I don't know, it looks like a storage facility. And that's gonna be our anchor point. Here we go. I believe this is following Spetsnaz. Yeah. And then I'm going to send the tanks over also to get some heavy, if not necessarily effective firepower. And we've got a new nemesis on the board. I caught it pretty early, I think, into its firing, so might be able to catch them. But then also these guns take forever to aim, so possibly not. Let's see. All over the entirety of the map. Oh, they got helicopters now rocketing my outskirts forces. Lots of explosions, but no energy. So we actually missed that struggle. They moved it away in time. I actually couldn't find it. I was surprised. I was just looking for it. Yeah, they skedaddled. And I'm gonna go ahead and try to rush for the decap. Not a big rush, pretty safe rush actually. I waited for all my other troops to get there, for my tanks to draw any anti-vehicle fire, and call in some reinforcements. It's going to take them a while to get there. And my tank went down, but that's okay. We got the command unit into the capture zone. Yeah, the artillery, I'm pretty sure, took out that. Either that or just helped my tank be able to, because it was struggling really hard. And I'm going to dance my command unit around and the infantry, because, I mean, this is... Oh, capturing that supply was really nice too, since I need to repair the tank for it to be somewhat useful. T-62s are not the strongest. very clear in the neighboring force. And now they're bringing in helicopters with their infantry still mounted up, which is risky business, so we're just going to open fire on this front. It's going to be enough. Shot down a helicopter. And the other one's going to come back. Over on the right, we're also doing okay, pushing up. And again, try to smack the MLRS. Got one of those mortars at least. Again, not a huge threat in my opinion, at least not in the current lay of the land. And they're gonna go ahead and charge. We're gonna get our AT off. Wanted to kill that tank in the back. Yeah, pretty unsuccessful push. I think they maybe killed one of the Spetsnaz units. But I have plenty of points, so I can just call in reinforcements. Tank up a bit, just direct support. It's a javelin. They donated a truck to me and I killed it. I don't know what the fire support request was there, but I figured I'd just try to hit it if possible. And then, with bigger guns, go for a tank. So we can decap on that right. I mean, the right side, a few times I'm over there, it doesn't look terrible. So I think with like just a little bit of extra dislodging, take it a little bit. Helicopter came back and died. Over the mountain. Good shot. I think the tank survived, but you could always give it another shot. Let's try to weaken them a little bit more, or something along those lines. Malka time again. Line up. Obviously don't really need to change the elevation of the barrels. There we go. We have the plus. I honestly forgot I had that unit sitting in the corner there. I'm still surprised that they didn't try to push it out. But a bunch of people are leaving now, and I think not entirely. I don't think it was me disconnecting because I was just talking to people. I think, but yeah, I don't know. And my reinforcements are coming up, so not too concerned. It does take them a long time to get to the front. And we're back on a +2 again. So yeah, I think what happened is that NATO team, enough of them thought it was a good situation that they left, and the rest decided to screw it. Pretty sure that's what happened. Not all the AI units are gonna zerg in a moment, including that tank. Helicopters, planes, just like suicidal. These infantry guys are just gonna cross there. I don't know why those guys dismounted there. Not a fun place to be. Open field and a crossfire. I actually, yeah, completely locked down that zone, and then it's gonna go down. So, yeah, the big guns. I sat on my hands for quite a while, and then I eventually moved. Gonna cut off this. We don't need 2 layers of the results screen, and yeah, that's the big guns.